Thank you for being a friend. Traveled down a road and back again. Your heart is true. You're a pal and a confidant. Ba-da-da-da. And if you threw a party, invited everyone you knew, well, you would see the biggest gift would be from me, and the card attached would say, "Thank you for watching two idiots talk about."
I don't know if that. I mean, it was. I want to tell everyone that was the first try. You got that first try. Hi, welcome
What can
back
I
to
say?
Do It Talk About podcast. I'm Jacob, and this is Trent.
Howdy.
Um,
Beyonce, if you want to hire me, my number is, uh, you have my number.
you have my number. Well, so our first two episodes were about skinwalkers and Alabama's ecological diversity. We're now taking a hard left turn and going to talk about Elon Musk.
Well, it isn't that hard of a left turn if you take into the account that I'm almost like 90% sure that man is a skinwalker.
He
His skin just don't sit right.
his sin don't. I mean, he does. Not to defame him, I guess, in any way. But every time I do look at him, he does. He is kind of frog-like into me.
He looks like a man who is not wearing his original skin.
Hey, I found this skin. Is this your skin? No.
Someone should shake him.
Someone should shake it. And if he makes a rattling sound, he's a skinwalker. So we talked about this a lot. If you notice, this episode's a little late. Um,
Well, first of all, Santa Claus came.
I mean, God bless us, everyone. Santa Claus came.
I had to get ready to be back in school.
I had to.
Uh,
I had to go
Hitchcock
deliver
had
presents
to-
to the children.
Hitchcock had to tend to his vicious hemorrhoids.
I don't know if that's true.
We we understand Hitchcock. It's not something you feel comfortable talking about.
No, it's not.
Uh,
It took me a lot of courage to bring
but
it up. Oh.
it's a little late. But we promise we're going to be back on schedule. We all know that all three of our fans have been waiting patiently.
Yeah, and you know who you are, Ricky,
You
Stefan.
can't you can't leave out Herb.
No, Herb. He cussed me out.
He's been at this network for 70 years.
Herb Welch lived. Um, so to kind of, I guess, start. I feel like everyone knows who Elon Musk is. You know.
Elaborate for me. I don't know who he is.
Um,
I have lived under a rock. Tell me a little bit about his biography.
He is currently the wealthiest person in the world.
Ah, so that's who I rob.
Good luck, because I bet he's got a lot of security. Famous for Tesla. If I remember right, PayPal. SpaceX. He's been kind of a big revolutionary in space travel recently. Yeah, he. And aside from looking like a frog, I mean, he's just one of the largest.
I still don't know who you're talking about. You're gonna have to give me something else he did for me to.
He kind of looks like a skinwalker.
Oh, that guy?
Yeah, that one, the one we were talking about.
Okay.
But he currently is, I feel like, one of the most well-known people on the planet. At least, like in most, like at least as an American speaking, like I don't think you could say Elon Musk and to say someone and they not know who you're talking about.
I think he's a twat.
I mean, I tend to not really enjoy rich people like him.
Are you a communist?
It could be. I don't know. I haven't really decided.
I don't want to be demonetized, sir. I have presidential ambitions one day. I cannot be around a communist.
I mean, communism isn't that bad. But
Except all, the people that... It's whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, Elon Musk.
Elon Musk. So if you can't tell, this was one of the topics, probably the only topic on the wheel that we were pretty much completely ill prepared to talk about.
I can make topics about anything. I do want to start. I do have the topic I want to start off with.
Go ahead.
I'm really interested in his. It seems like, especially Elon Musk, Bezos, they seem to be a lot of these rich people seem to be putting a lot of their wealth into space programs.
Which I mean, I appreciate, which is I think it's something. Whenever I was a younger child, that I was wishing
You
that
say
we would do more of.
I'm going to take the counter argument on here. I don't like people having so much money they can take joy rides around the earth. I
Yeah,
don't see how that benefits people
yeah,
at
that
all.
part I don't care for. I appreciate his strives to make space travel increasingly, exponentially cheaper.
Oh yeah, yeah. You can be a millionaire and do space travel now instead of a billionaire. That's a small,
Yeah,
large jump.
I mean, like I genuinely though, like these are the kind of steps that like I mean we're having. I mean, space like country space programs have been pushed. Like programs that were supposed to be like 30, 40 years in the future are now looking to be 10, 20 years in the future. Like
But
I mean, we've
does it?
escalated like the growth. I mean, again, I do like I think there's a lot of Elon Musk fanboys out there that will rip out your throat if you try and say anything bad about him. But I to
He makes mediocre looking cars.
he also is not that funny.
Neither are we.
You don't got to call me out like that. But I think there's a lot of weird like it's just kind of weird that like this random weird frog guy is the richest. I don't think I can clarify. Is the richest man in the world. Like take
That's
that.
just
Think about that
that's
for a
just
second.
that's just because they've not found my stash.
Oh, so you're saying you're the richest person in the world
I'm
unknown?
saying I'm the richest person in the universe. It's called Rich in Love, Hitchcock. Rich in Love.
Rich in love,
And cocaine and gold.
hashtag blessed.
And cocaine and gold.
But
But no, but does it not seem sort of just I don't know, these people doing it because they can, just for their own sort of I want to go to space, so I'm gonna go to space and all that. Like, do you think that this him making such a space program in SpaceX will actually benefit society in the future? Like, will that bring technological advances, or do you think it's just a vanity project?
I think it's a mix of both. To be completely honest, I cannot deny that what he's done has not been at least somewhat beneficial to the way we look at space exploration, which I think is kind of a big thing and a big step for humanity. But I mean, like also the fact he's making electric cars, he's making strides to work on, like more green energies. Like he has a green energy company, like a solar energy company,
Well,
and making that and working on that technology and making it cheaper does have outward benefits to everyone.
okay, so but like there's certain things that the insulin pump, artificial limbs, uh, LASIK surgery, solar cells, water filtration. These were all things invented for space exploration. NASA is the one who invented this. Do you see him with his project, uh, oh, adding more technologies that people we use every day into society?
I don't know because I think he's making what he's striving for, and this is kind of the part that I don't really agree with. I guess is that he's making it more commercial than like for practical uses. Like I mean I don't think whenever NASA was like inventing like things that we need, like a bunch of those the things we got from the space program were kind of happenstance. And I mean, so I can't deny and say like, oh, there's no chance that his continued work and I mean, like, and I don't want to say it's just him, the people who work there, because I don't want to deny their genius and their ability to help with the furthering of humanity in our technology. But I don't. I think it's all going to be happenstance. I don't think it's going to be like. And I mean, like, with that much money, I feel like that money could be being spread to so many different places. I mean, he has enough money to give. We focusing on like big climate change and stuff like that. Like helping with world governments and like striving to make big, actual like fast changes to the way we are treating our planet and the way we use energy. I feel like he could be making bigger strides there. And I mean, like, you may say that, like, that's a big thing to ask for one person, but I mean, we're talking about the richest person on the planet. Like,
Well,
he has the money, he has the resources, he could be doing more.
uh, so okay. I guess my question now is whether or not
I think he's a
there's a whole
skinwalker.
idea. No, no, yeah, maybe. Uh, a lot of his plans is to like to go to Mars. He wants to colonize Mars and stuff.
Which
I am against that.
why? Because you think we should be focusing more on our planet?
I don't want to live on Mars. My stuff's here.
I
But no, no, I'm all for, putting a man on Mars and stuff. That would be a great achievement for the century. But the idea of colonizing Mars, one, yeah, it does take the focus off our planet. Like we have a plan B. Mars is not a plan B. We
at
would
least
not
nowhere
have.
near in the future that like the time it would
No,
take to
Mars is
terraform Mars to
Mars
make it a
is
plan B would
Mars
be
is not a plan B. Mars is not a plan B. I don't care what anyone says. It terraform and get. We can barely
handle our own
ter-
planet.
handle our own planet. We could not completely terraform another planet. It's not a plan B.
I
But
actually kind of disagree there. I think it's a possibility. I just don't think it's in any of our lifetimes or our children's lifetimes or their children's lifetimes.
that makes
And
it a plan Q.
and like I hope I'm wrong. I hope we like have a breakthrough. Like yeah, we figured it out. Like we know how to. We could get this Mother Hubbard like terraformed in like a week. But like that's just not feasible with the technology we have. We just don't have the resources, the technology, or I mean like all we have is manpower, and that's not. And apparently that's not enough. If we can't fix our own problems here, what makes you think we can fix our problems there? Like, like it's and who would it be for? Like that's another thing. Like because like you made a mention that like again like now millionaires can afford to go into space. Like is that who it's for? Like
Well,
and also I think when people talk like you look at all these like science fantasy and science fiction stories where like we've colonized the universe like that's not I don't think people realize that like that's going to be a very small population of people compared to the majority of the human race who would want to do something like that because that's a big life change.
I just don't think U-Haul's going to carry my stuff up there.
I don't, I mean at the very least the rates are going to be really ridiculous.
Plus the long call, like telephone calls, like Zoom, outrageous cost. I've just already saying that.
But like
Uh, but but like but there is also this question with him because he has I guess you could say, a devoted fan base.
a little bit
Uh,
cult maybe.
that's good. Is he a genius? Is he not?
I don't think so. I don't. I mean, like,
Are we
what is a
qualified to say?
genius?
Are we qualified to say someone's a genius?
I mean, our podcast is Two Idiots Talk About, so I don't know if we're really qualified for anything. But
But no, but a lot of people herald him like as the new Thomas Edison, the new
okay,
Tesla.
okay, I would not want to be the new Thomas Edison.
I mean, he's closer, to my opinion, to the new Thomas Edison. Than
I mean,
Tesla.
yeah, but I wouldn't.
But
But I don't. I personally wouldn't be Thomas Edison because, fun fact, Thomas Edison was a noted like idea thief. He was very kind of brutal in his practices, All around, not that great of a guy. I don't think he was dumb, but I think like I mean he if I remember right, he even stole things from Tesla. And so I find it kind of funny that you compare him to Thomas Edison and he named his company Tesla. But I don't know. Like I mean, what really is a genius? Like how do you define a genius? I think a lot of it may have been luck. I don't think he's entirely stupid. I don't agree with him on a lot of his views. If I remember right, he spread a lot of misinformation about like the pandemic and stuff like that. I don't. I mean, a bigger question is like, should it be possible for someone to have as much power as he has that he can just tweet out a product and it make it the biggest thing in the world? I mean, like him just talking about cryptocurrency has made it probably one of the biggest things in our generation.
It scares me that a man that has such of a stranglehold on investing and SpaceX is one of the biggest stocks. Crypto has become one of the biggest stocks because of him. That he tweets like a nut job.
Uh huh.
Uh, Dogecoin was because of him.
It's I don't know. Like I don't think he should have that much power. And like
He's become a cultural phenomenon.
I mean, like I think he's
He
definitely
has a following. He has a massive following. There are people in this country that believe that he is like the savior of our next generation. That he's the one that's going to bring us into the new technological era.
And like I don't agree with that. Like and like because I mean like I don't think it's. I think the biggest thing is that a lot of people need to realize is it's not gonna be one person that does that. And this is not to discredit the things that he has done and the companies that he works with have not made strives for this. But I mean like people calling him the real life Tony Stark is absurd to me. Like saying that he's like he could like he's like he could be like real life fucking Iron Man. Pardon my French. But he's just a dude. He's just a really rich dude that has like this power that like I mean like there are people in this that are alive today that would like if he ran for president, he would get it. Like I feel like that's not an insane thing to say. That he would like if he ran for president, there would not be a small number of people that would all flock to him as this new savior. I mean, like we already saw it kind of happen with one of our prior presidents that people thought he was the second coming of Christ.
I would happen to know that my thing just went out. So what'd you say?
Great.
I went out for like a minute, and
I just think that like people thinking that there's there's a nominal amount of people who look at him as the second coming of Christ. Like and like that's not insane because that's happened recently that with one of our presidents that people thought that that's what he was.
well, it's very odd that it seems like billionaires are held up to such a fanatic uh, idolization in this country and in the world, to be completely honest. But not particularly all billionaires. Like I don't see that much of a following like Bill Gates and Warren Buffett and Oprah. Except for me, I love Oprah.
I don't like him.
Well, you're wrong. Uh, they have cults of personalities. And do you think that they are so popular because they aren't normal? And we're not normal either, by the way. Uh, but
I mean, it recently came out that he, like,
Both
I
of
think
them,
he,
both of those people, I'm not going to say the other one by name, but him and Elon, literally seem like two of the most powerful people in the world with the mindset of a teenager.
yeah, I mean, he's what, 50? Like, but
What?
like,
Look at a lot of his plans. I'm 50 years old. He's 50 years old, owns all these companies. I'm going to go to Mars. I'm going to have a hot supermodel girlfriend. Cars, they going to be robots. Like, it's stuff like that. Like, he enacts them because he has the money, but, like, he has crazy ideas.
I think people, I also think there's this mindset that they think, again, just kind of talking billionaires and millionaires in general, that like they are so intelligent that like they can't be wrong.
It's real funny considering neither of those people actually mostly inherited all their
Yeah,
money.
I mean, like that's a big thing that like I've heard a lot of people talking about how um he like they're kind of self-made. And I mean like he did a lot of things to make money, but like he's not like he didn't come from money. Like not
But
like I don't think he I mean I
well,
could
no,
I
his family owned diamond mines during apartheid in South Africa. They benefited from that system.
which is a whole another bag of grease to talk about
And the other guy got a small loan of a couple $1 million.
from his dad. Um um
But I do think that a lot of the reason they have this cult of personality, one is because Elon Musk, we're going to go back to Elon Musk, sorry. One, he fulfills this idea of people who grew up on science fiction that he's going to bring us into this age of like rockets and flying cars and space travel and stuff like that. Like he's the weird being a billionaire philanthropist who like put the country into the new age like in all the video games and books and movies. But also people are kind of refreshed that he doesn't care so much about his public image.
which I mean like that's kind of a big thing, but I mean like again, I don't know if that is what we need. Like I mean like he's like you could
No,
almost
we live in a time period where people have to. A lot of people are scared to actually be themselves because of ridicule and I get being canceled. To be honest, being canceled, just being backlash from the internet. And I think he gets a lot of following because he does all this stuff, whether it's good, bad, for his own vanity projects. He does all this stuff without caring what the hell people think about him, and that is refreshing to people.
I don't know like and I guess I kind of see why, but like
Well, because even though he's a skinwalker, he acts less like skinwalkers than the other people.
yeah, you're right now.
Skinwalkers are more personable than reptile people.
He's a skinwalker's open about being.
No, skinwalkers are never afraid to be themselves.
I,
All the
are you
politicians, all the
are you
all the
positing that we should come up with like how we call like Mark Zuckerberg the lizard person he is.
He is a lizard person.
I
He's a
mean,
lizard person.
again,
Lizard people are worried about their image. Skinwalkers don't care.
and not to be spreading misinformation, we obviously don't believe that he's actually a lizard person. I mean, you could
I do.
if you showed me the evidence.
I do.
I probably wouldn't. I'd be like, oh,
I do.
yeah.
I think there's
there
at
was-
least a 10% chance that that man's actual brain is somewhere floating in a jar and it's communicating to his avatar body.
Goodness gracious. But what the thing that kind of scares me is that like these kind of people that have this kind of power and this influence on people, like I mean, he's absolutely, and whatever your opinions are on the whole pandemic and what's going on, like he's also said some things that like were not helpful.
No, he's discredited a lot of the pandemic, and I would like to state that I'm on the side of this as get vaccinated, wear your mask
Yeah.
when it's appropriate, but also let adults make their own decisions because I, you know,
I'm at least like adults make their own decisions as long as those decisions don't hurt anyone else.
I think treating the general public like adults is a proper thing. I don't believe in like mandates and stuff like that. That's just my personal opinion. And I wear a mask. I'm fully vaccinated and everything. But he does spread a lot of misinformation. Specifically, he's actually on a hunt right now to show that the death rates of COVID have been exaggerated. He's spending money to do that instead of spending money to help the pandemic.
Which is crazy. Um, I just it upsets me because like these are people's lives on the line, like, and I care a lot about people. Like I like
Do
even
you?
yeah, I do genuinely. I only wish the betterment of humanity.
I
And
mean,
I
there's several people that I know that I'd push in a volcano for a Klondike bar.
for
What would
Klondike.
you do for a
Why
Klondike
am I
bar?
afraid to ask if I'm on that list? Don't answer that.
Don't
Um,
ask questions you're
no,
not
you're not ready
prepared
to
the answer
answer
for.
for.
Depends
Um,
on the flavor of Klondike, Hitchcock. Depends on the flavor of Klondike.
Great. Um, but I don't know. Like, there's a lot of crazy people um that are have a lot of money, are in power right now. Um, like I enjoy the strives. Like I think one of our big, like, not counting the pandemic right now, like dealing with poverty, like dealing with hunger and dealing with climate change, like these are the big things that need to be focused on. And while I love the work being made to um like in like space travel, I would love to see more work being made to fix those issues, like world hunger and poverty and just people kind of dying like whenever like it could be stopped, like senseless death. Like there's a lot of senseless death that's going on, and people
So
with this, what I'm saying is that we need to get all these skinwalkers, and
why does his rockets all look like penises?
that is such a great question.
Sorry, I went onto his Twitter to see if he tweeted anything crazy recently, and all of his rockets he posts about look like penises.
I mean, like you that could be like, I mean, it's a male making male things. Like, I mean, there could be some kind of like hidden meaning there, or like
Or it could be that penises are very aerodynamic and we should shoot more into space.
what an completely terrifying picture to put into people's heads.
Anyway, I do want to. So recently, if unless you're living under a rock or, I mean, I guess you could just not pay attention. He was named Times Person of the Year. Is his cultural impact deserving of that title? And if it is it deserving in a good way, or is it just deserving in the fact that he has ingrained himself in our culture?
I mean, there's no argument to be made that he is.
The other question is, why was I robbed out of that title?
You were not even in the running.
I was a contender. They just were too afraid to
I
tell
could have
me.
been a contender. Um,
He took it from me.
I first answer the second question. No, you were not. Absolutely not. Incorrect.
The magazine cover that I have beside my bed says otherwise.
What does your magazine cover say? What does it say?
It's the Times Person of the Year with Elon Musk's face cut out and mine paste put in.
And poorly written in crayon. Trent Gilmore. Um.
Yeah.
Uh.
Got the mustache in there and everything.
No, I don't. I mean, there's a lot of arguments to be made. Like, I think the better argument to be made is that was there someone more deserving of that title?
But is the Times Person of the Year for someone that's done extreme good that year, or is it for someone that has had the most impact?
I mean, then we're making a lot of arguments about like who could be like if we went back in time, who would be the person's time of the year in each year, like because
I'm talking about this year. Was this year and this past year a year me and you both lived through? Did Elon Musk deserve to be Times Person of the Year? Did he have that much impact of the year to beat me out on that cover?
if it were just talking about between you and him, yes,
What
absolutely.
about Dolly Parton?
Dolly Parton should be Times Person of the Year every year.
I
That's my
personally
personal
believe we
opinion.
should tear down all Confederate statues and
Replacing
put
with Dolly
statues
Parton.
up of Dolly Parton.
I mean, that's a very fair thing. I mean, she is a blessing onto this world.
I love that woman. She's in my list of 3 celebrities that I'm going to tell my future wife I could cheat on her with.
What an amazing thing to say. Um, that you have thought about that so far in advance.
Hey, women got to know. Women got to know.
Got no other place. Literally, it's Dolly Parton and then the rest of the world. Would what now? Here's the thing: would the world be better if we gave all of Elon Musk money to Dolly Parton?
Yes.
I mean, because I can't see any reason.
She's more. The word where she gives things. She uses her wealth in
Generous?
my mind in a generous way. Uh, and it's their money. It's their choice to do with it. Kind of their money. But I just and I'm not going to discredit Elon Musk. He does do some good things with his money. He's tried to like help people out of mines in Thailand. He's worked on air filtration systems and stuff. But I just see the majority of it is he wants to be this rock star. And I feel like that could be dangerous with his following.
Yeah, absolutely.
That I believe he has begun to believe his own hype. And that is always a dangerous thing. Because I'm the hype and he needs to realize that.
I am the hype. I love all these references we're making that probably not many people are going to know.
If you get these references, I will send you a butter biscuit.
He'll send you a butter biscuit. Is it homemade?
Hashtag Trent sends butter biscuits.
Go to the Boi Soup Twitter, like our most recent post, hashtag butter biscuit, and then we'll send you butter biscuit.
Hashtag Trent, please butter my biscuit.
That's it. That's the hashtag. But I mean, I guess to kind of go broader, what do you think that one person, even if like they've like do you think one person should have that much money? Not just Elon
No.
Musk, but like, and
No.
like if you had the power to re-diversify it,
No.
like where would
No.
you
I've been saying no since you said this.
just no?
No. No. Look, if I had the choice, I would get all their money. I would become the benevolent dictator of the world, and we would all have a peaceful society.
I think we've learned to not give money to Trent. I think that's because that was terrifying. A dictator Trent is worse Trent.
Benevolent dictator.
I don't think you have the right to put the word benevolent and dictator in the same sentence. I'm just going to say that right now.
Well, you're wrong.
Because I think there was a lot of dictators who were not great people who would have probably said the same
I would be a
thing.
great person. I would be a great person. Everyone would be taken care of, and only the people that opposed me would have to fear prosecution. Anyway. No. In all seriousness, no, I don't. I think having $1 billion is completely outrageous. I personally, because you didn't make that money yourself. If you get $1 billion, pretty much you're getting $1 off someone else's work. In my opinion, or stocks and stuff, which is other people investing in you.
So
I think there should be. We hear a lot about a minimum wage. I think there should be a maximum wage.
I could probably agree with that. Do you
I think the limit
would you
should
say you're the
be.
kind of person, and not sorry for interrupting you because of the benevolent dictator comment. Um,
That's
uh,
mean.
um,
Someone's not
do
getting
you think
into the good hunger camp.
the good hunger camp? Woo!
That's where we sell butter biscuits.
That's where we sell the butter biscuits. For 29 Trent shekels.
Oh, 29. No, inflation won't be a problem. It'll be 12 Trent shekels.
12 Trent shekels consistently.
Yeah.
Do you think like society in general, it should be made around however much you work, you get paid
No,
that much?
no, because that's communism.
Then if you could build a perfect society, and I'm already regretting asking this because
Benevolent dictator. No, I'm not against rich people. I'm not. If you work hard enough and have a good idea, and Elon Musk, I give him credit. He's had business savvy. He had a good idea. He's a lunatic, but he had a good idea. Uh, I do think that everyone, if you work 40 hours a day, you should have the, you know, be able to buy necessities.
I mean,
But
I think if you work 40 hours a day, you shouldn't have to worry about money. Like that shouldn't be a thing.
I just think you should at least be able to have a roof over your head, food on your table. Because I do believe in the idea of if you want more, you work harder. But if you're working the minimum, 40 hours a week, or, well, not the minimum, what you maximum you can, then yeah, you deserve to have all your necessities met. But in my ideal society, uh, there wouldn't be billionaires because you would be capped at your net income at 999 million, whatever. And every penny after that would go into funding public works, infrastructure, education, environmental health. Would not a dime of it would not go toward the federal government. I would rather see go into local governments who actually know how to use that income
I could
properly.
probably agree with that.
But and then you can get it like a park named after you, saying you won capitalism. Woohoo!
I just think I don't know. Talking about millionaires makes me like
Billionaires.
I mean he's yeah, you're right though. He's a billionaire by a little bit.
How much is his net worth? How much is his net
Uh,
worth actually?
estimated net worth. I actually have it pulled up. Estimated net worth is 300 as of January 2022 is 304 billion. So he's a little bit of a billionaire. He's
You
a
know he does.
multi-billionaire.
There's been several years where he didn't pay taxes.
Do you know that he doesn't take he takes a $1 wage?
Yeah, it's real weird how a lot of billionaires do it. So a lot of their money's in stocks, and stocks are not taxed unless you get it out. So instead, they take low wages and take out loans on their stocks, and live off them loans, and then use the stuff on their loans, their stocks, to pay off their loans, and then they don't have to pay taxes. And I think that's stupid. I personally believe that stocks should be taxed
Tax the
after a
rich.
certain amount.
I mean, it's kind of crazy, and I mean he's not the only one that does it. And I mean you kind of already touched
No,
on it.
all billionaires do it, but he's obviously, one of the worst offenders.
Yeah,
He has the most money.
and I don't think he's lazy. Like I don't.
No, I do think that he genuinely works hard, and I do think in his mind he does think he's saving the world. But that's a dangerous thing.
Yeah,
Most
yeah,
people
absolutely.
most people who have done horrible things in this world have been under the pretense that they were saving the world.
But I don't know. I think there's a lot more that he could be doing. And I mean, like if I remember, I saw an interview with him where he was talking about where he doesn't believe he doesn't. What's a good way to put this?
He
someone
doesn't
was
believe in
at
skinwalkers. That's
he
exactly
doesn't.
what a skinwalker would
That's
say.
exactly what a skinwalker would say. But someone was asking him like, is it okay for like him to have all this money and like should it be diversified somewhere else? And he said no, because I can't remember his exact statement, so I don't want to like throw him under the bus. But I think like, do you think he has the right to make that decision? I'm just now reading.
Look,
Okay, to kind of break off on
this
that
is
topic, I just am now looking at something, and
this
apparently
is
in 2019, he released a rap track under the title "Rip Harambe" on
yeah
SoundCloud.
yeah. He also named one of his fiscal years the year of 420. So you know, but it it, it worries me.
Musk has repeatedly described himself as cash poor.
Well, he is. A lot of rich people are cash poor.
On May 2020, sell all his physical possessions. I mean, like though,
A lot of rich people are cash poor. They live off of their investments. And I don't like the idea of someone having billions and billions of dollars tied up to where there's no way for it to trickle down and benefit society.
I agree with that. Absolutely.
But I'm also not against rich people. If you get rich, good for you. I'm against morally, from a religious standpoint and everything, people having enough to fly around the earth in a rocket when we have people starving.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the biggest thing is that we should like is that like all rich people that are listening.
I know you're listening, Musk.
I know you're listening, Musk. Give Trent your money so he can fund Trentland. Whatever. What are you going to call uh your dictatorship? Is it
Earth,
Earth? Wow, bold. All of it.
all of it. I said dictator of the world. And once we get to Mars, Mars too.
Make Trent the ruler of the universe, I guess.
Everyone would get a pony.
What if I don't want a pony?
You'll take it.
What am I supposed to do with a pony? I don't have room for a pony.
You pet it, you give it treats, and when times get rough, because they will get rough in Trentland, you eat it.
At least you're honest. Yeah.
No. uh, Look, it's a big policy. I mean, we've got stuff on the wheel to talk about policy stuff at some future point. This is what the wheel decided, so we discussed Elon Musk.
Yeah, we tried.
We tried. I think it's time to spin it again.
Yeah, we talked about Trentland. We've hit a lot of interesting topics. It's
Hashtag
time.
Trent's Butter Biscuits.
That's the new currency name. That's our new currency name.
I'm spinning.
All right, I'm scared.
Wheel of what now?
Please be one of mine.
Huh. Weirdly enough, it landed on why should Trent be dictator?
I don't believe that one because
Come on, we put it on the wheel.
I didn't. I definitely didn't.
No, we will be talking about fantasy novels.
Oh yeah! Oh, I'm gonna bore all our listeners next time we do something.
We will be talking about fantasy novels. I'm a big Tolkien fan. I'm a big fan. I'm big excited about
Listeners,
that.
I'm gonna give you some required reading before next episode. Read Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. If you haven't read Lord of the Rings, read it right now. Drop everything.
Bold of you to assume that your own co-host can read.
I know you can't. That's why I'm going to be sitting down with you and explaining how all this works.
I like the pretty pictures.
I'll get some picture books for you. But
Yay!
I think we're gonna call it for today's episode. And I guess, in all, thank you for being a friend.
Thank you for being a friend. And Elon Musk, if you're there, show me your skin.
Alrighty. Bye, everybody.
Are we out?
Thank you for being a friend.
Hitchcock, are we out?
Travel down the road and back again.
Hold on.
Your heart is true. You're
What's
the
Golden Girls
pal
opening?
and a confidant. And if you threw
I did
a party,
reword and spin the wheel this time.
invited everyone you knew.
So you really want to be a
You
dictator?
would see the biggest
not
gift
really.
would be from me, and the card
I'd see you as a
attached
dictator.
would say thank you. For
It
being
originally
a
landed on
friend.
plants, but I respun because I wanted something that a little
You
bit
don't want to
different.
talk about plants, huh?